All right, so ballpark figures when you're looking at estimating rehabs and renos. So let's talk about the roof real quick. So a roof on a property. I don't even know how to spell roofs. That's probably right. So there's roofs. So if you're looking at like a townhouse, like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath townhouse, and I've estimated a little bit of a contingency on this, but if you're looking at roofs, guys, you're looking at anywhere between 7K for a whole roof replacement on a townhouse to 10K. All right. So just put that as a note in your head, because if you hear, wow, this thing needs a new roof, a completely new roof, you want to start ballparking 7 to 10K. All right. Gutters. Okay. Gutters are really important.
If you're writing something, Amir, we can't see it.
Oh, I am writing something, and I'm sorry that you couldn't see it. Can you see it now?
No.
Hold on. You see that good looking fella right there, boy? Y'all could have me out of nowhere. All right, hold on.
I can see it.
Hold on. Could you see it now? All right.
I can see it. You talking about the exterior roof?
Yeah,
7K,
I can see it.
I don't know what's going on, Val. You're gonna have to figure it out. But we're talking about. I want you guys to have a good ballpark figure in your head of how much things cost.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go out and come back in.
Well, maybe it's something on your screen. Okay.
Yeah, I
If
think if she can go back.
You could. There's something on your screen that you could probably adjust. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So with gutters, guys, if you're gonna replace a gutter or broken downspouts or whatever, estimate to pay anywhere between. So if you're just gonna fix one gutter or a little bit, I know it's a lot, but anywhere between $500 to $5,000. Because if you need to replace all the gutters, it's gonna be somewhere around 5,000. Okay.
I guess it depends on who you know. I just had my gutters replaced for $12.50, I think.
So 12.50.
Yeah, I think it were.
$12.50?
No, 1,200.
Okay. Okay. So you had all of them fixed, right?
Yep, the whole house.
So good. So, and how big is that house, Damien?
It's like 2,100 square feet.
Okay. So you did it for $12.50, but again, it's within that price range, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk about siding. Okay. Anytime you're looking at the house, if you're walking a property and you're like, all right, looking at siding is very important. And a quick note, you want to be mindful of these older houses that might have what's called asbestos siding. Okay. And if you're talking to a seller, they don't, man, it's a huge negotiating piece. Okay. So be mindful and look up asbestos siding. But siding, guys, it's going to cost you anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000. Yeah.
Tell me that.
Man, siding gets expensive just depending on what it is.
My neighbor's window, the sun reflecting off of their window melted my siding. It's like it's crazy.
So you replaced a piece of siding?
I have like several pieces to replace.
Yeah, bro.
That's if the seller wants that replaced.
Yeah, but siding.
I mean the buyer. Sorry.
And,
the buyer
and so when you're meeting with your sellers, guys, and you're negotiating deals, like this is stuff that they don't see. So you, as a sharp real estate investor, y'all need to start breaking them down on what they're thinking. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
they think it don't cost that much.
They think, yeah, they're like, oh, that's nothing. Okay.
Right.
And then when you actually pull real estimates from like a regular person who's doing just not like one of our contractors are a little bit cheaper, but a regular contractor is going to be even more.
So Amir, you're talking about how much siding for that cost?
So this is replacing all of siding. Now, if you're just repatching some siding, it's going to be less, but we're talking about just redoing the siding. Okay. Now, windows, guys, per window, expect to pay anywhere between $250 to $400, depending on the window. Okay. And maybe even try to memorize these. I've been getting better at memorizing them just to kind of, when you're walking through, like a guy like Bill Omi can walk into a property and within 60 seconds, he knows what his rehab is, right? Things like that.
Right.
So I want, as we get better at real estate investing, because this is what I struggled with for years, is really understanding what costs are for everything. But I'm getting better and better at it. So let's talk about exterior paint. Exterior paint. And excuse my chicken scratch writing, but hey, I'm using this little pen here. So exterior paint, what I've found is it's going to be anywhere around $2 to $3 per square foot. Okay, 2 to 3 per square foot. Okay. So to do a whole house, it's like, I don't know, somewhere around $2,500 to $3,000. Okay, just depending on the size of the property. All right. So this is all exterior right now. Okay. Landscaping is a big thing, right? Curb appeal. So let's talk about landscaping a little bit. So landscaping, it just depends. I've seen some houses where there's like these huge, gigantic trees, and just to remove those, you want to get quoted. But if you're in a house, typical landscaping or curb appeal is going to be anywhere between $1,000 to $5,000. And some people save money, they just do it themselves. But, you know, we're talking about, you know, hiring a landscaper and really doing a professional job landscaping your stuff. Okay. And then garage. A garage is big. Garage. So to do a complete demo on a garage, like, you know, like, so you have your garage and sometimes you have to do some framing or you have to do some insulation or and you have to do the garage door. And so to do a full demo on a garage, when I looked it up, guys, it was like $5,000. That's doing a full demo on a complete garage. Okay. Now, just a garage door is going to be cheaper, but if you go in and the garage is like dilapidated and it's hanging, and if you need to replace that garage, a full garage demo, or for like the, what is it, the floor or the concrete or whatever it's in the garage, if you want to do a full demo, it's going to cost you about $5,000. What else is on the exterior? Oh, some properties have, like if you're looking at more rural properties, and I am looking at some rural properties in certain areas, you want to be mindful of the septic system. Well, before I get there, let's talk about pools, because I put that before. So in this area, you don't really, like in DC, Maryland, Virginia, don't nobody like pools. Like if you're in California and other areas around the country, everybody got a pool, right? Valerie, are you good now? You said shutters. Oh, I think that's a part of the exterior paint.
Yes, I'm on my computer now.
Okay, so you can see what I'm doing?
Yes.
So to replace a whole pool and to get it updated and stuff, it's expensive, guys. So around $5,000. Okay. For a fence, and I'm helping my dad build a fence in his house, around his house. So it's going to be around $10 to $15 per square feet. Okay. $10 to $15 per square feet for a fence. We're talking about a wooden fence. So you can, if you want to build a fence on the backyard of a property, or you want to build a nice fence on the front, expect to pay anywhere between $2,000 to $6,000. All right, $2,000 to $6,000, right? So this is really understanding your numbers on an exterior rehab, and it can change here or there, but today's just having us understand a ballpark figure, right? What else you got? So we have fence, you have your deck, a deck. Now, as far as a deck goes, there's usually parts of a deck where you can replace the wood, you can replace rotted wood, you can update things. So if you're just fixing things on a deck, it can be, depending on the size of the deck, it can be anywhere between $250 to $500. If you're just replacing parts of the deck, you might be restaining the deck, right? But if you're going to replace a whole deck, guys, it gets expensive. So a deck is going to cost you anywhere between, just depending on your neighborhood. Now, I know this is a wide range, anywhere between $5K all the way up to $25K. Like, I've seen some really extravagant decks, but it depends on what market you're investing in, right? So, and if you guys, have any comments on any of these, let me know. So the next big thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, and this is just talking about the exterior of a property, I wanted to talk about septic, okay? Now, if you guys aren't familiar, most of the properties here in Virginia are on city, sewer, water, and all that. But when you go out into more rural areas, they have a septic tank, which is typically buried under the backyard. And this is what handles all the waste and stuff. If you're buying a property with septic, right, a septic tank, you must get it inspected. I've got a student of mine, I don't know if you know her, and her name's getting away from me right now, but she bought a property in a rural area in Suffolk, Virginia, and she didn't get the septic tank checked, and now it's like costing her an arm and a leg, right? So get this septic system inspected, and it's going to cost you anywhere between $250 and $500. It's a must, all right? If you do not get the septic system checked, someone guess how much it's going to cost to actually replace the whole septic system. Go ahead and guess. Somebody give me a guess. Which one of you guys?
20,000.
Yeah, bro. You were right. So anywhere between 15 to 20K, man.
Mm.
I don't know about you, but that could turn your whole deal upside down.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about when you first get into a property, like if you're doing a fix and flip, let's talk about demo. So your demo is going to cost, if you're getting one like 15 to 30 foot roll off dumpster, it's going to cost you anywhere between $300 to $3,000. Okay. So this is us going through basic ballpark numbers on what your rehab is going to cost for the exterior of the property. Okay. Does that help you guys at all? I mean, it helped me to kind of know the numbers and really understand them.
Hey, Umair, I got a quick question.
All right. Yeah, go for it.
Regarding the septic, so if there is a nearby city sewer, if you get with the county, can they connect it to your house?
Yeah, it just costs.
You think that would be more cost than replacing it, like 20K?
I'm not sure. I know that they have to run, it depends on how far the city sewer is. But basically, bro, they got to dig deep under there. And if it's on the street, like if it's not too far, it just depends. I mean, in every jurisdiction, you're going to have to get the estimates for that.
Okay.
But if it's somewhere like close, like around here, like Fairfax or whatever, like, man, there's city sewer and water everywhere. So you just got to get quotes and see how much that'll actually run you.
Gotcha.
Like if they got to tear up a bunch of sidewalk and stuff and then replace it, man, it can get expensive. So, and then another thing about the septics is, you got to get this truck to come in and clean it out if the septic tank is too full or if it's not performing properly. So it can get ugly.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So this was the exterior. If anyone wants to take a screenshot of it, go ahead, because I'm going to clear my screen now. So now we're going to go into the interior ballpark figures on your rehabs and stuff. So, all right. So here I go. All right, so let's talk all about just some rough figures. If you're walking through a property and you want to start thinking how much is things going to cost. All right, so now we're going to move on to interior rehabs. Interior. All right, so let's go down the list. So let's start with I would start with a kitchen, right? So kitchens and baths usually sell your properties. Okay, so when you're looking to rehab stuff, your kitchens, I mean, just depending on the size of the property, it's a wide range. And it's really hard for me to say because there's 3 levels of rehabs that you do. There's your lower level rehab, which is typically for rentals. There's your mid-grade rehab, and then there's your upgrade or your upscale rehab. So guys, just depending on the area, it can be anywhere between $5,000 and $20,000, right? Because you don't want to overdo it for the market, but kitchens are typically, you're going to spend, like, if it's like a townhouse or whatever, between $6,000 and $8,000, right? If you're doing like a full like HD TV ready home. So a lot of times it's really popular now, if you guys haven't noticed, where rehabbers will go in. Every deal that we've done is we do this whole open concept thing. And as you're starting out in real estate, a lot of times people get scared. They don't really realize how easy it is to open up walls, right? Even if it's a load-bearing wall, there's ways to take that load-bearing wall down, right? But I want you guys to know how much it costs to open up a layout. Open up layout. So to open up your layout, it's going to cost anywhere between $2,000 to $10,000. Okay. So if you're just taking one wall down that's non-load bearing, that's easy. You're just demoing the framing of the wall. You're just opening the space up. So open layout is going to be between $2,000 and $10,000. All right. But a lot of times people don't realize how easy it is to change the layout, and they get hung up on it. So they're going to go buy maybe like a single family home, right? And it seems tight and closed up. It's all good. You guys can open the bad boy up, right? So bathrooms, let's talk about bathrooms. So bathrooms are going to cost anywhere between $5,000 and $10,000 for full baths, $5,000 to even $15,000. So there's a large kind of spread on this depending on the area, $5,000 to $15,000. And then the half baths, you want to estimate around $3,000. And I know a lot of you guys are thinking, hey, I can get it done for $2,300 or $2,800. Great. But I'm always erring on the side of caution for us, right? So when you're running your numbers in your head, err on the side of caution. Flooring. Flooring. So let's talk about interior flooring. So it could be, again, it could be hardwood, it can be vinyl, even carpet, right? So flooring is going to be between $7 and $15 per square foot. $7 and $15 per square foot. And if it's carpet, I want you to budget maybe $2 to $5 per square feet. Okay. So regular flooring, let's just say $2 to $7 per square feet. And then for carpet, I'm sorry, $7 to $15 per square feet for like hardwood floors, vinyl floors, these new engineered hardwood floors, or $2 to $5 for carpet. So let me just put that down, $2 to $5 for carpet. And as we kind of like, as you guys have contractors and subcontractors that you can get cheaper things with, please share them with me so I can put them on our community list. I have a whole list of people that I've kind of heard of, or I've found, or I've got business cards that we can kind of, if you get a deal or a rental, I can give you this list and you can kind of give them a call. All right. So collectively, we're building a list together. Drywall. Now, drywall, if you're doing a full rehab, we typically say replace it. But sometimes you can even keep the drywall for a rental. But it's going to be like $500 per room. Okay, $500 per room. Oh, yeah, we got Ariel getting on. So, I mean, he might be able to kind of vouch for this. Ariel's a contractor. What's up, Ariel? How you doing? We're talking about rehab cost, okay? So what's really important is HVAC. HVAC and hot water heater. HVAC and hot water heaters. So expect to pay, and I might be a little high on this. Ariel, you're in here, you can tell me. But if you're going into any property, typically if you look at the serial number on the hot water heater, the last 4 digits on that hot water heater is the year that it was made. Did you guys notice that? I just started noticing that. The last 4 digits is typically the year that the hot water heater is made. And it's also going to tell you the year and model there. But for the HVAC, you know, I mean, for the HVAC, it's a little bit more expensive. But to completely replace the water heater, it's probably going to be around $1,000 to $1,200. So hot water heater is going to be around $1,000 to $1,200. And then to replace the whole HVAC, it's going to be like $7 to $10K. That's a high ticket item. Hey, Ariel, how much can you replace a whole HVAC for? I'm curious. If you can hear us. A whole HVAC system.
In my house, I did it for 3,500.
I know, but that's because you're a contractor.
But I did it. I did it. If you contract any people, it's more expensive.
How much? Between 7 and 10K? Would you say that's a good estimate?
Yeah, that's right. That's the number.
Okay. Okay.
So are you talking about with duct work or just the system itself?
No, just
Only the system. No duct.
Oh, I just had it done for 42.
42 is good price.
Yeah.
you had the whole thing with ductwork done for $4,200?
Not with duct work. No, just the system.
Okay.
It had an AC.
So you got a good price.
The compressor and the air handler.
It's Damien talking. It's a firefighter walkie-talkie, so it's all good. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is electrical rewiring. So as you're looking at these older houses, some of them are going to need new wiring, guys. And if you're walking through them, to get the whole thing rewired, I've got $7K to $10K to get it all rewired. Now, if you're just looking at upgrading the panel, so that's electrical rewiring. Upgrading a panel, it's going to cost you around $2,000. All right, if you want to upgrade your electrical panel, put $2K for that. So these are the numbers that we've got to start kind of understanding. So when you're walking through a deal, you're looking at the siding, you're looking at the HVAC, you're opening up the electrical panel. If it's an old 100-unit panel, you know you're going to update it and replace it. Start estimating around $2,000. Okay. Now let's talk about carpentry and window work. Carpentry/window work. So work around the window and carpentry. That's going to cost you so what I mean by carpentry work is like, you know, like the crown molding and stuff like that. Crown molding, you know, putting all that stuff on. So the crown molding and all the carpentry work, like stairs, little things like that, that's going to cost you. Oh, I got a text message. Budget anywhere between $1K to $5K. Okay. And you guys know on your first couple of projects, like fix and flips or whatever, just work with a general contractor. Expect to pay your GC like 10 to 15% more than subbing everything out, but it's going to make your life so much easier. Okay. The other thing that you want to budget for is termites. Okay. So a termite treatment and repair, maybe $500. But if depending on how large that termite problem is, I've looked into it for some of these properties in South Carolina. It's going to be anywhere between $2,000 all the way up to $5,000 because termites can be a big issue. Okay, termites can hurt you. So if you're painting a house, painting's going to cost you anywhere between $3 to $6 per square foot. Okay. So depending on the square footage of your property, in your head, start thinking it's going to cost, just say $3 to $4 per square feet, depending on your painter. Then other thing on the interior, which can be really big, guys, is mold, right? Like, you know, the Purcells do mold remediation and stuff, but a little bit of mold here and there, you could always cut the drywall out and just get rid of it. But if you're going to go ahead and do some mold remediation for little spots of mold, $500 all the way up to $5,000. And mold is a big negotiating piece as well. So if you're negotiating with your seller and you walk in and there's mold everywhere, you better believe I'm gonna use that to negotiate the deal. Okay. Permits. And this is why you must know what area you're investing in, right? But permits is a big thing. In DC, permits on these big condo conversions, they can cost big chunks of money. But for all across the country, expect to pay anywhere between $250 all the way up to $3,000 for permits. And then the last thing I had was insulation. Okay. So if you're going to re-insulate properties, especially ones that are older, or you just want to insulate a specific area, expect around 500 to 5,000. Okay. So what your job is as a rehabber or you're creating your rental portfolio, please memorize all these numbers. Know them like the back of your hand, and then start, as you get better at rehabbing or fixing and flipping, you're going to start learning how to sub things out, and then you can negotiate the price on all this stuff. Joy, you had your whole system replaced for 4Gs. Was it your whole HVAC system? She's frozen. I'm curious. So, okay, I guess she's frozen or whatever. So guys, we went through the interior and the exterior. After I go through all these numbers on, oh, a new unit. Okay, that makes sense. After I go through all these numbers in my head, for all of your rehabs, go ahead and put a 10 to 15% additional contingency on this, okay? Because you want to be conservative on your numbers. Hey, I didn't know you had a puppy, Ariel. Hey, what's his name? All right. So any questions on this, guys? I wanted to bring this as far as a little bit of training, because the biggest problem people have as they're getting into fixing and flipping is not understanding the numbers. Okay.
Hey, Omer,
Yes, sir.
what if you have foundation issue? That's a big money, right?
Yeah, foundation's a big piece, just depending what type of foundation is actually on the property.
Like if you see a crack, maybe like, you know, on the outside or inside.
Well, sometimes that foundation can be sealed up and fixed. It just depends on how bad it is, right? So if it's cracked, I mean, there's things that you can do to fix that, but it just depends on the severity of the foundation. So as you know how when we always do walkthroughs of properties, we always walk the exterior first, and we walk the interior, and typically you want to bring your contractor with you. But this is these are good numbers to start understanding and going off of. So